Hey everybody, it's Ben and Karen. Go us. It's Saturday, September 2nd. And then this is the Champions Chess Tour. Today is the day of the semifinals and the finals of the losers bracket, which I have up here. So today we're going to see, let me go to there we go. So we have Bortnick and Komsky playing in the semifinals here, where I'm circling. And then the winner of that match will play Sam Sevian also today. And then the winner of that match tomorrow will play Mamedyarov in the finals. Excuse me. And the game starts in about 2 minutes between Bortnick and Komsky. I'm choking on my own rage.
Go Komsky.
Thanks to Farty Party and Wild Pond for subscribing and supporting the stream. Bortnick, it looks like he lost the first round, and then he won every other match after that. Yeah, who did Bortnick lose to in the first round? He lost to Mamedyarov. That's funny. So Bortnick played Mamedyarov in round 1, and then Bortnick won his next 5 matches to get into the semifinals. So this is the whole thing here. Hard to believe. So if Bortnick or Sevian win today and play Mamedyarov in the final, Mamedyarov had already beaten them. So the only new match would be Komsky-Mamedyarov. Okay, let's go to see if the game is up yet. It is 11 o'clock. Okay, it's not up yet.
You did the squad streaming?
No, I did not. Let's see if they squad streamed me yet. It's one of these things. Yay, thanks for remembering.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're squad streaming. Everybody was squad streaming. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You want to see Sevian versus Gata again? Well, if Gata wins against Bortnick, then you will.
Yeah, I would like to see that too.
All right, let's see if they've put the game up yet. They did.
Although, I like Mamedyarov. So, I don't know.
No, but Sevian Komsky would be the...
It's Sevian.
Before Mamedyarov.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you're going to see Mamedyarov tomorrow. You won't see him today.
Well, I want Gata to win.
Yeah, well, then you'll want Gata Sevian and then Gata Mamedyarov.
Yeah.
And you'll want Gata to win this match. Okay, so Bortnick played the C3 Sicilian. And Komsky's thinking, because Komsky usually faces the open Sicilian. This is the only match going on right now. Then when this match is over, the winner will play Sevian, and that'll be the only match going on. And then we're done. And then tomorrow, whoever wins of those 3 players is going to play Mamedyarov. And we'll have to beat Mamedyarov in 2 matches to win the tournament. Okay, Komsky's playing like me, d5. Most people don't play like I do. I play knight f6, bishop g4. And most people play knight f6, e6 instead of bishop g4, which is probably better, play e6.
What do they do with their light squared bishop?
The truth hurts. Yeah. It's passive. But Komsky doesn't mind that. All right, so after knight f3, I play bishop g4, which is called the Icelandic variation. But most grandmasters just play e6. So we shall see if white ever plays knight f3. Man, there's some slow going in the opening. There's a billion grandmaster games and neither player ever moves. Bishop e3. Have I ever faced that? I don't know. I don't think I faced bishop e3. No, that stops bishop g4. Now Ghana will probably play e6. And he did. Then queen could go to d6 or d8. They're both reasonable. Could go to a5 too because he played e6. So these are the three possible moves. Or, okay, bishop b4 pinning the knight. I forgot that they do that in the e6 variation because they can. And often they take here, which is a weird thing to do because give up your two bishops.
I don't know. The bishop on e3 looks weird to me.
Mm-hmm. It's not active. Hey, they answered your question about what they do with their bishop.
Yeah, I figured they might Finegold it.
They've transposed into a line that they both know. Bortnick played queen e2, so Kamsky couldn't trade the white squared bishops with bishop a6. By leaving his knight here at b8, he can play bishop b7 quicker and doesn't put his knight on c6 blocking his bishop. Because the knight's probably going to go to d7 now. So yeah, this is a nice equalizing line from Kamsky. Bishop e3 doesn't have a lot of, as you said, it's not very good there. Yeah, Kamsky's playing really well this tournament. Shocking. He just lost to Sevian, and that was a very close match. Yeah, white can play knight e5 now if he doesn't want to get his pawns messed up on f3. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't care, he'll just play one of his rooks to c1.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Only if he literally doesn't care. This almost looks like a Chigorin. Yeah, except there's no knight on c6, which happens on move 2. But yeah, with the queen d5, bishop b4, you're right. Also, there's no pawn here. There's some other differences. Yeah, I like queen h5. That's a cool move.
Yeah.
Especially since his queen was hanging. So, you know, had to move his queen.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
Hi, Alona. Random moves. Bonarici, etc.
Mainly, etc. He's a legend, Kamsky. Less games today than the other days. There's this match, then there's the winner playing Sevian, and then that's it. And then the winner of that match, the Sevian match tomorrow, plays Mamedyarov. Tomorrow's unclear. If Mamedyarov wins the first match, that's it. If Mamedyarov loses the first match, they have to play another match. So unclear how long it's going to take tomorrow. Okay, he just played rook c1. He literally doesn't care about bishop f3, although he figuratively does. I thought the knight would go here, which is unusual in this opening, but the engine still wants to play knight c6. Yeah, that's what I would do. Probably knight c6, you can go to e7, then you have all these good squares for your knight. But it seems better to like leave your bishop open. So knight bd7 seems like a more human move. So will he take the bishop or will he take on f3? The answer is fries. I think he'll take the bishop. They're about the same.
If he takes on f3, which way do you take? Like if he bishop takes.
I'd probably take with the queen because otherwise your king's side's open and there's a queen on the board. Otherwise it wouldn't matter much.
That's what I would think.
If your queens are off the board, okay, he traded on a6, so we'll never know.
Hey GM Smurfette, how's it going? Hey Axiomeric in Puerto Rico.
The engine gives queen takes, bishop takes, but I think he'll take with the pawn. Shows you what I know. The engine doesn't like taking with the pawn, but I do. Well, we'll see see, takes with the pawn.
Why is that better?
Well, you open up the B file, and the bishop on A5 is really bad. White could play A3, B4. So bishop on A5 is trapped because there's a pawn here. But bishop here can go back to these nice squares, and we have the open file for the rook.
Okay.
So I like pawn takes better, and so did Gata, but the engine didn't agree. The engine wanted to take with the bishop. It's more human to take with the pawn, so your bishop's not trapped on A5. Bishop on A5 is, could lose it. This gives away the C5 square, so white can try to play knight A4 to C5. Otherwise, there's not really a negative to it. White has to figure out what to do about this pawn. That's the problem with playing A3, which the engine wants to play, is when the bishop retreats, then when I play rook B8, you can't play B3, because your A pawn would be hanging. So B3 is easy to play, but if you play A3, then B3, well, that doesn't even work. You just take it. So then white has to play some move like rook C2 or rook B1, which he doesn't want to play, defend his pawn. Yeah, knight A4 is the more human move than A3, because you want to play B3 if you can, so your pawns are good. Then take over this file. Knight can go to C5. Knight can go to E5. Gata will probably play knight D5. Knight's good on D5. Well, his position's about equal. Maybe I slightly prefer white because of the double pawn. Maybe. Seems like these pawns won't be attacked. So Gata played knight d7, which is what I would have played instead of knight c6, the computer move. And he took here, which is what I would have played instead of the computer move. So Gata's playing like me instead of the computer. That's not good. Because I would lose to Bortnick. His name's Bortnick. What am I supposed to do? You guys have a rooting favorite here? Anybody rooting for Gata or Bortnick? I think Karen's rooting for Bortnick. No. I play this variation for black, although I usually play bishop g4. So trading off the white square bishops is nice for black because it's not blocked by this pawn. I like the way the engine plays knight c3 now. He just played knight a4 from c3. Come on, engine. Now he plays a3. So one thing to do is when the bishop drops back, probably to e7, white can play bishop d2 and target this pawn.
Is that why I put his knight there? To keep...
Yeah, that's one reason. Also to play knight here.
Yeah.
And also it defends the b pawn in case of rook b8.
Yeah.
Now Gata can play knight on 7 to b6, attacking the knight. And if the knight takes, I take with a pawn, and then I defend. And now he can play a4. And okay, so everybody's playing good moves. Probably put a rook on c8 to stop knight here. So looks like they're working on their knight moves.
I never root for the Americans. LeBron. What does that mean? Christian Community Tournament.
Because it's the CCT, so he just made up some stuff.
Oh.
As opposed to the Champions Chess Tour.
You're rooting for the engine.
Go engine. The engine's doing well. It says white is a tiny bit better. Because, nice knights. Also nice.
Mm-hmm.
The players are playing really fast. It's move 20 and they both have tons of time left.
Is Ben going to cover Division 1, 2? No.
No, I do Division 3. Division 1's done by some other people. If you can call them people. Like David Howell and, those people. Whoever those people are. And I think Division 2's done by Chess Dojo.
Mm-hmm. And how's it going, Dante?
And white played G3, getting a square for his king, getting some lift, and stopping knight F4 later. Yeah, G2 is a good square for the king. Then when they trade all the pieces, he can do this. But it'll be like move 60 before that happens.
Is Karen bothered that there are a lot of negative stigma around the name Karen? I'd rather there, not be. I've gotten used to it. Mainly it's tough with all the Karen jokes that aren't funny. Puts me in an awkward position because just imagine that you hear the same joke 1,000 times.
For example, how do you know somebody's vegan? They always tell you. I've heard that joke 1,000 times.
So, it might be clever the first time, but, So then it's annoying because not because there's making a joke about the name Karen so much. It's just, it's not a funny joke. It's a tired, worn out joke. But hopefully it'll go away one day.
Go San Diego Warriors. That's right. Also what?
Gotta needs to double his rooks. You get offended on my behalf and you're a male. Well, thank you, Jason White. What are some you hear a lot? Well, it's always the same joke. Oh, don't be such a Karen.
Bishop F6 was played after a very long thought. The engine wants to play knight e4, and then after knight e4, we have an option to go to c6 later, like knight c6. And the knight could go to d6 also. So, he could play that. The other move it gives is knight d3. That seems... I don't know why you would go there. The knight's good on c5.
Mm-hmm.
I would think if I was a human, I would play either king g2 or rook e1. Knight e4 seems okay. Knight here seems weird. Knight e4, the knights have lots of squares they can try to hop into.
If he were to retreat, okay.
I'm not a fan of f4. That weakens this part of the board. He doesn't care because he has a dark squared bishop, but I don't like that move.
Yeah, they have a dark squared bishop too.
Yeah, I find it's too weakening. But he just wants to solidify his knight here. Now black can play knight e7 and put his other knight on d5 later and play knight f5 and put pressure on d4. But d4 can be attacked now, and it's on this open diagonal. Okay, he played h5 to keep these pawns in check. Then he'll play g6, and then he'll probably play knight to f5, rook to d8, put pressure on d4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to lose that pawn with check, but if this knight ever moves, you will. So this knight's just going to stay here the whole game.
Mac Taco Daddy says, my name is Luke. If I had $1 for the amount of times somebody said, I am your father, I would have enough money to retire, and I'm 23. So you get it. My son Archer's playing a chess tournament today. Go Archer.
My son is also Bortnick. Okay, so Bortnick played king f2. I don't know where he wants his king to go. d3.
You don't get what, Gaming Goblino? What, don't be such a Karen? Thank you, Bruce Mack. Go Archer.
Agreed.
Archer just got into the 1800s over the board for the first time. Yeah, he's doing great. He's playing at the Chess Zone, which is where our chess club used to be.
Very heavyweight positional game where white's trying to get a bind and black has really good knights and bishop, and everything about black's position is fine. But black doesn't really have a good active plan. I think the only thing black can do if he wants to change the position is attack on d4. So he would play knight e7 to f5 and rook to d8 in some order. If he doesn't want to do that, he could just sit here and chill and let white try to figure out something to do, since black's pieces are all good. White can play knight e4 to open up the c file and then play either knight c6 or rook c5.
Hey, Ruprecht Van Doon. How's it going? First time chat.
Okay, so Gata did play knight e7. Wants to play rook d8 and knight f5. Also, he's stopping knight c6 after knight e4. It's protecting c6, so this knight can't hop in here. White doesn't want to play moves like this and start trading everything because he'll be left with this silly bishop. So he's trying to get his bishop something good to do. Now he can take the knight and take on a4 is his idea. The engine wants to play rook f d8, attacking the d pawn.
Yeah.
Well, Bortnick has worked up himself a nice time advantage. He's up 2 minutes.
Hey, Storm, how's it going?
Okay, and Gata did play rook f d8. Probably white will play rook f d1 because this pawn, don't want to lose this pawn. It's holding on to both knights. One line that I'm looking at right now, the engine's not, but like takes, 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 attacking the knight. And if the knight takes the pawn, then we come in here. This knight has f5. This pawn's not dangerous yet. The engine prefers black here because if the king goes to e3, then when I take this pawn, your king's exposed. Knight f5 check is coming. This pawn is weak. The engine really likes black here. Black can also take this at some point and weaken his pawns again. And then this king is exposed. This pawn's exposed. If you move your pawn to save it, then I have rook, well, your knight's hanging, and I have rook b3 check. So rook b3 check wins the pawn, rook takes knight wins, rook takes pawn wins a pawn. So the engine actually plays king g1 in this position to save its pawn. It's not really what you want to do. So that's if white starts to take everything. And Gata saw that, so he's not worried about that variation. So Bortnick's analyzing that now. Bishop takes, knight takes, etc., etc. He'll decide that's not good, then he'll play rook f d1. But Gata caught up on time because he's, Bortnick's like, hey, I want to win a pawn. Why can't I win a pawn? And it's all because he played f4, king f2. Then this rook d2 check comes in.
Yeah. I didn't think it looked good, and I'm not even very good.
Wow, big think here for Bortnick. He's really calculating this very long, and he wants it to work because he wants to be a pawn up, but it doesn't work. Also, I'm interested to see what Gata does after rook here because the engine says rook d5. That's hard for me to believe that he'll do that. That seems like a weird move because then white can play this same way. Yeah. Although I guess I just play the same way and the rook has to take here. Okay, got to play knight f5 without thinking. That seems more human to put pressure on this pawn. Okay, now the engine likes black. It wanted to play bishop c3 and said it was equal. This is the same variation, but the knight's on f5 instead of e7. This is like a worse version for white. Yeah, this is very bad play by Bortnick. Bortnick had to play bishop c3 and defend. All these trades help black. Yeah, the problem is rook here, and rook here attacks this, and king is exposed. Yeah, the tables have turned in favor of Kamsky, and that showed that I thought there were unturned tables. Rick and Morty.
Mm. Quarantine, yes. I'm originally from Alabama, and we live in Georgia now. Southern accent. Thank you.
Yeah, so now we have a Sophie's choice here. The king defends the pawn, then the king's terrible on g1. Knight here, or the king doesn't defend the pawn, and I take this, and I take this, and I queen this. So I don't know what he'll do. Okay, he played king there, and you don't want to do that, but gotta do something. So Gata can play b5, and the knight moves at knight d4, knight f3 check, and all the white's pawns are hanging. And the king can walk up. Yeah, this is exactly why I didn't want to play f4, because later this could happen. And it did. Gata played b5. So Gata has an extra minute now, and Gata has a really nice position. Yeah, this pawn's weak, this pawn's weak, this pawn's weak. King's no good. My king's good. And he can promote his king. Make it a queen. Yeah, Gata just outplayed Bortnick the last 10 moves or so. And Gata has more time now. Gata still got it. These are all live moves? Yes. Well, they're playing fast, but they only have 4 and 3 minutes left, so. Another mistake.
How's it going, Matthew Schlegel?
You Gata can go check and check and check. Be a pawn up. And then he can play g5, h4. Yeah, I don't know what the engine says, but I don't know, g5, h4 seems like it's winning to me. g5, h4, and then you win. What are these guys supposed to do? Taking this pawn, that takes 80 moves. This takes like 4 moves, and then the game's over. And Gata plays like me. I must be playing good this game. I'm suggesting moves and Gata plays them, so. That's unusual for me. Usually I just look at the engine, and then the players don't play the engine moves, and then I complain. I'm not playing the engine moves either. I was like, play here, and Gata played those moves. Those are more human moves. Yeah, my king is good. See, this king no good. You can't play without a king. That king can't move. And once these pawns come, black could even consider after h4 takes playing g4, g3, rook f2 mate, or g2 mate. It's not even clear he'll take back. But probably he will, because knight e4 seems to stop the g-pawn. Knight takes b5? Wow. I thought the knight would go to e4 so he could, try to do something over here. The engine wants to play king g6 and get the king up. Mate. Yeah, king here, king here. This is a Nigel Short mate. Just walk the king up to g3 and play rook f2 mate. This moving the king up and having this king here reminds me of the famous game Kamsky won with black against Grishuk in the Olympiad. Mm-hmm. There was a famous Olympiad match, U.S. versus Soviet Russia. Soviet Russia had Kramnik, Grishuk, and then 2 other 2700s. and we won the match. Ray Robson drew his game. Kobe lost, of course. And then Nakamura beat Kramnik in a famous game where Nakamura promoted to a knight, and he had to. In like the middle game, he promoted to a queen, he was losing, and knight he was winning. And then Kamsky won with black against Grishuk, so the U.S. won the match. And this reminds me of that game with Grishuk, because against Grishuk's king was no good, and it was an end game with like even pawns, and Gata moved his king up. It's very similar to me. Although that was like 15 years ago, so it could be I'm making it all up, but it reminds me of that. See, if I was black, I'd be playing knight here, check, and then I would be playing king g6, then I'd play knight here, check, knight, and then play some other move. So Gata's going to play either g4 or h4. He might repeat first. Okay, he just played h4. So this is the winning plan. Good plan. If the rook goes to c3, which the engine does to stop this, then the knight can take on e5, and black has 3 passed pawns. And he has a better king. And the knight's attacked. And this is the engine move. Man, harsh. Because you can't allow this. So you got to do something. Hard to play rook c3 and give this pawn away and have your knight attacked. So I don't know if a human can do that. Very tough position for white without his king, and black having an obvious plan. And black's king can walk up too and play rook here mate still. Nigel short-like. Got to watch out for knight e4 check. Surprised Gata hasn't repeated it all. Confusing the audience. I guess he doesn't want to give increment to his opponent. Gata doing well in this tournament reminds me of something Edmar Mednis once said to me. I was surprised when Smyslov beat Ribley in the candidates in 1983 or 84. And he said, Ribley's a strong grandmaster, but Smyslov's a world champion. Smyslov was old. He had a serious case of old. He was in his 60s, and he was winning candidates matches.
Yeah, we got some moves.
Yeah. So this reminds me of that. Like, how can Kamsky be beating these guys? Kamsky's world class just because he's old. The other guys are just grandmasters. Moving on up. So what doesn't it like? It doesn't like knight takes e5. That does. Oh, it doesn't like rook a2. It wants to play rook b2 because this is the pawn that's promoting. This pawn is too far. So it wants to play rook b2. It doesn't like rook a2. All right, and then black plays f5, and both sides queen. Except probably nobody queens. I mean, Gata's up a pawn and has a better king. So bigger winning advantage for black. But yeah, f5 makes sense. Got to get those 3 passed pawns pushed. f5, f4, f3, h3. Once the pawn gets to f3, we can play h3, h2 because the rook is blocked.
Yeah.
So I predict f5. Knight g4, question mark.
Bortnick is mad on his stream now. I didn't know he was streaming.
I don't even understand the move knight g4. I don't understand why he went there. Like, I don't know why he went. Like, if you said, here's black's plan, I don't know what it is. That's a very strange move. And the engine just goes back next move. It really hates this move. It says it's equal now.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know why he went there. Maybe he wants to play f5, f4, knight e3 check. Maybe. We can't play f5 now because e6 is hanging, so it likes this move. Well, now it says black's not better. I mean, the knight can't move anywhere good. It goes back here. That's where it was. If the knight goes here, you can't go to f3. So that doesn't make sense either. So I don't understand this move. You play f5 and get your pawn going. Well, now all 3 results are possible. Gata messed up the last few moves.
Darn.
Yeah, I don't know what black should do now. I want to play f5 still, but my pawn's hanging, so maybe he'll play e5. and then play f5. But no, that's slow. These pawns could get going. Rook b3 could happen, and then move it on up. That's probably what White wants to do, rook here. And then move his pawn. Or he could play knight here and move his pawn that way.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to play one of these moves soon. And Kamsky sees that, and he's like, dang, why'd I go here? Oh, now they have the same amount of time.
Darn.
Now Bortnick's less mad on his stream.
I mean, I don't understand why he would move there.
Yeah, I mean, now this pawn's attacked. Rook b3 and this... Yeah, now White has to decide whether to take this or play rook b3 or knight b3. Like, should I take this or should I try to queen my pawn? The engine plays rook b3 and says White is slightly better, and that says this is equal. It's hard not to take this because 2 pawns each, you figure you won't lose. Playing for the win is weird when your game sucks. He plays for the win. Yeah, when the rook moves away, he can still take this. Rook takes rook probably loses. Knight takes, and these pawns are just too far away from the king. So it's very, very... I should have gone here. Yeah, there we go. Rook f2 check. Okay. I mean, this is really strong. I don't know about rook f2 check. Yeah, he's going to play b6. And now his knight has to come back here. You can't take the knight because b7.
Yeah.
Whoa, h3. Now it says b7 just wins. And then if you play h2, I play rook here. And it says I'm just winning. Rook takes is a draw. Then rook takes. Yeah, he played the only winning move. Rook h3 is the only winning move. And now a5, a6, a7. Tough plan. He can't queen because I take it and then I queen. Yeah, Gada's going to lose.
Darn.
No. Ace.
I thought he was going to win.
Well, he was winning, but now he's not.
Hey, Extra Cheese Project.
Yeah, knight g4 was just a terrible move. He played a lot of bad moves. He doesn't have a lot of time on us. Wow, look at this. 3 seconds. What's he doing?
Yeah, there's a 3-second increment.
He's still winning, but he's playing weird.
Except from the Armageddon. But on the regular games.
Oh, he queens with check. Man, White has a lot of queens. Everybody queen tonight. That rook e5 was the best move. Yeah, king f2 allows queen takes rook check. Well, that allows queen takes rook check. Yeah, truth hurts.
Darn, he had a complete meltdown. Yeah, the truth hurts.
And the game's over. Yeah, Gada was doing well until he wasn't. It's funny, Gada was playing between 95 and 97 the whole game with the cap score. And when the game ended, it gave him 84. It didn't like the way he played the last 15 moves.
Yeah. Hey, Moves, how's it going?
I just got a text from Bortnick. He said, 2 queens, what else? Yeah. We're tagged in a photo. That's us in the corner. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. Magnus said something funny. So and Caruana lost yesterday to Abdusattorov and Lazovic.
Yeah.
I don't know who Lazovic is, but he's under 21. And Carlson said it's just me and the kids now because they're both under 21. And Caruana and so are out. All right, well, that was frustrating. So now we'll see if Kamsky does a Bakro and loses on purpose. He won't, but that was funny yesterday.
Man. Disappointing.
All right, Kamsky has white. Probably be another London.
Yeah, we're doing well, Moose. Archer's playing a tournament today.
He spelt it like Vat as well. That's right. 2 queens, Vat else. See, black has no accuracy because he hasn't moved yet. It's just a dash.
Yeah, Archer recently got into the 1800s over the board rating. So that's good.
Well, he thought 23 seconds on move 1. And it's a London. It's the game Karen versus Bortnick. It's also my game with Komsky. That's still my game with Komsky.
He accused Sinam, I don't know who that is, Movahead, of cheating a lot. Why does he get away with this?
You mean Cena was cheating a lot, or he often accuses him? Oh, snap.
London, boo.
That's all Gata plays.
Oh, he often accuses him? Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, he accuses a lot of people.
Well, he can't accuse Bortnick that game. He was rolling over Bortnick. And then every move Gata played was bad. Gata just started playing badly when he had a good position.
Yeah.
Komsky accuses Jospim, not Bortnick. Isn't Jospim good? What? Yeah, but if you accuse everybody of cheating, probably it's you, not them. Probably you're the one who's crazy. Or everybody's cheating. Also possible. Gata playing very quickly. He gets these formations in the London a lot against the double Fianchetto. Castle's Exclam. Wow, what a move.
Yeah, well, he shouldn't accuse everybody.
Right. Quick trivia for Karen because she likes Gata. When
I'm not a super fan.
when Kasparov and short played and FIDE, there was a schism between FIDE and Kasparov had his own world championships for a while, and FIDE had their world championships. Gata played in one of the world championships that FIDE had. Mm-hmm. Who was Gata's opponent? Gata lost.
I don't know, Karpov?
Close.
I'm just guessing on that.
Topolov.
Oh, yeah. I remember now.
No, Karpov was close because he was a FIDE champion also. Mm-hmm. Karpov won matches against Anand and Timon. So Karpov was the FIDE champion again, although, nobody believed it. And then, okay, here's another trivia, not related to Komsky. Kasparov was supposed to play a match for the World Championship, but they didn't get any sponsors. They just never played. Do you know who his opponent was supposed to be?
Kasparov was
supposed to play for the World Championship, his own World Championship.
Yeah.
And the guy qualified by winning the other matches. Then they never played because they couldn't get a sponsor. It's famous today because they consider that he got screwed. Because if you play a World Championship match,
Topolov?
That's good money. No, Topolov was the other. He was
right.
But he was FIDE. Shirov.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, nobody wanted to see Shirov get crushed by Kasparov because in Shirov's life he's never beaten Kasparov. He has all losses and a few draws. They played 30 times and Shirov never beat him once.
They couldn't get a sponsor.
Yeah, they couldn't get a sponsor for Shirov Kasparov because everybody thought Shirov was just going to get rolled over and wouldn't be interesting.
Yeah.
Komsky did have a match with Karpov. I don't know if that was a World Championship match, though. I know his match with Topolov was. Actually, you know what? I think Karen was right. Komsky-Karpov was the World Championship match, and Komsky-Topolov was before the World Championship. I think. Now I don't know because it was 20 years ago. So we'll just say Karen was right.
Somebody needs to look it up for us. So that
Abdul Rahman agrees with all that crazy stuff I just said. Gata played Topolov and the winner played Anand. And Anand won that match in the last game of the match with black in a QGD. What's that called? Not the Lasker variation. What was the Lasker variation? Yeah. When I played Gata and he played the London, he played bishop f4, bishop here, bishop here, bishop here, bishop here, and then I resigned. Man, it was a tough game. Gata played rook e1. He wants a square for his bishop in case c6 happens, and he wants to play knight d2 and e4. It's a real Gata kind of position. Cool name.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Lawful Waffle.
Topolov accused Kramnik of using 24-ply toilet paper. That's correct. The reason Kramnik was going to his rest area a lot wasn't to cheat, because that's ridiculous. But yeah, he was smoking. Yeah. He didn't want his wife to know he was smoking, so he was hiding. Jim Carrey knew. They asked Jim Carrey, why is Kramnik going back there? And he said, he's smoking. Go, Jim Carrey. Do you know Gata personally? I do. One time when I was married to my first wife, I think, it was my second wife. Me and my second wife and possibly Spencer, maybe. We went to Coney Island. We went to Coney Island with Gata and his wife and their child. This is a long time ago. And then we went to eat at some Russian restaurant. So we used to hang out, me and Gata. We were like that, son. Also, Gata and I were talking during the National Open one year. Karen doesn't know this because it didn't happen. She wasn't there. I'm playing in the National Open, and Komsky's playing in the National Open, and the lights went out. So the director said, stop your games, and people just were walking around. And Komsky and I started talking about stuff that wasn't chess related. We were just talking, like, he's like, my wife, and so forth. His wife actually died. His wife at that time. And his kid had some problem. His kid had some mental issues. Like, when you grow up, what do you call it? Developmental issues.
Yeah.
So, like, so he had all kinds of family problems. But this is all like 20, 25 years ago. So I don't talk to Gata much. We talked a little bit when he beat me in Atlanta a few years ago. I don't see Gata anymore because I don't go to tournaments, and he doesn't go to tournaments in the U.S. So I think Gata's back in Russia now. In Soviet Russia. Okay, so bishop b7. Gata played a move the engine doesn't like. Played b4. The engine says boo, boo. What do we want to play? Knight d2? Knight d2 or bishop d3. Just to play e4.
I got your music reference, Lawful Waffle.
He made a reference that wasn't Seinfeld?
Yeah. Tell me all your thoughts on Gata, because I'd really like to meet him. Gata's living in France now, and he speaks very highly of you on his stream now.
Well, he should, because he beat me good last time. C5 question mark.
I got to meet him.
Engine hates these moves.
Briefly. Back in, when was that? 2000.
Gata used to play a lot online. He would. This sounds like I'm like starting a joke, but I'm not. He used to play Pokemon online, and he was very good. And his handle was Gata catch 'em all, which is because he's Gata. So he has a good sense of humor, Komsky. Because when he was younger, he did not have a sense of humor. Man, he was a very serious person. Now he laughs a little bit, you know. Yeah, the engine hates c5, and it hates b4. They look like normal moves.
Nobody gets the Warriors reference.
I am the Warriors.
I missed it. I have to admit it.
Have you met Gata's dad? I've seen Gata's dad, but I've never talked to him. His dad had a reputation of being very hard to deal with. Mm-hmm. And also the reputation when Gata was a kid is Gata's dad hit him.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, that was his reputation. I don't know if he did. That was, and this is a good Gata story. Mm-hmm. Gata's playing a match in Spain. I forgot who he was playing. Maybe short, maybe. He's playing a match with somebody good, like a candidates match. And his seconds is Gingy and somebody else. Like, I don't know, Yasser. So he's 2 seconds. I forgot who the other one was. And his dad was there. And at some point, his dad got arrested in Spain. And the other coach told Gingy, God, his dad was arrested. And Gingy's response was, good. That he can get out of here and we can do some prep and stuff.
Yeah.
Gatto was playing in Tilburg in 1991 or so, and I was there, and Gatto drew against like Kasparov or something, but Gatto had a really good position, and Gatto's dad was yelling at him. He said, "I could win this position. What's wrong with you?" I was like, "Man, Gatto's dad can win this position against Kasparov." Harsh.
Hey, Sven. How's
Gatto's
it going?
dad plays chess. He's not that bad. He's not world class. He's probably like 1900 or something.
How old was Gatto when all this, for example, when he got arrested?
Early 20s, I guess. Well, Gatto wasn't arrested. His dad was.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, like early 20s. Gatto was really good when he was 17. They already knew, like, wow, this guy's really good. Now, if you're really good and you're 17, that's normal. But 25 years ago, you usually weren't world class when you were 17. You were 17. But Gatto was. Gatto was world class when he was 17. So between like 17 and 30, Gatto was like, top 10 in the world. And then he quit chess for like 5 years to go to law school and or medical school, whichever is funnier. And then he came back after he lost like, a good chunk of his chess career.
Oh, his father went to jail and he took most of his money.
The joke in the 1990s was, which chess player beats Gatto the most? And the answer was his dad.
Well, that's not a good joke.
You got to make some jokes.
Not about people getting beat.
Yeah, sometimes you get beat. If you saw the movie Rounders, which you didn't see yet, which I'm shocked, still shocked.
I'm busy.
You'll realize sometimes you have to take a beating. That happens sometimes.
Well, that's different if you get in a fist fight than your dad beating you. Mm-hmm. It's a different scenario. I agree sometimes people...
Yeah, Gatto's dad was a boxer,
punched.
and he would get into it with players at the tournament. Like, he would start getting, like, yelling fights with them. And you didn't want to fight Kamsky's dad. Kamsky's dad kicked your ass. So if Gatto's dad got into it with other players, there was never any fighting because it was scary.
I don't understand why that kind of behavior's tolerated at chess tournaments.
So this game is nothing's happening. Then somebody's going to get in time trouble and blunder. That's what's happening so far.
You enjoyed the joke, Samuel?
32 Kennard Street.
Extra cheese, surprised also I haven't seen Rounders.
Let me tell you a conversation we had last night.
I'm super busy.
I said to Karen, what kind of cereal does Mitch McConnell enjoy? Right? And she said, what? And I said, Frosted Mini Strokes. And she didn't like that joke, thought that was a bad joke. And then I replied, I said, well, I told that joke to McConnell, and he just stared at me.
That's a better joke.
Yeah, I like that joke.
The mini strokes, it doesn't make sense because wheats and strokes don't sound the same, and it just isn't a good joke. That's just my opinion. But the stared at me part was
my follow-up joke was good.
Yeah, that was a good joke. I agree. But the joke, the original, joke, that was no good.
Go, Karen. Man, I never seen such a boring game. All right. So they traded. He attacked the knight. He saw it. The engine wants to play F5, making the game less boring. But Bortnick played D5. Now, of course, Bortnick wants boring, equal, draw, because he won the first game. So Bortnick doesn't want any excitement to happen. It's a nice bishop. In blitz chess, this bishop crushes.
Yeah.
Because they forget about it. It's right over here. So you're like, oh no, that bishop, I forgot. I played rook here and he just took it.
I'm not going to judge different strokes for different folks. I'm not a huge Mitch McConnell fan, but I felt sorry for him. Did he have a recent concussion? Could that also be what's
Yeah,
going
he fell
on?
this year. He fell like in February or so.
So it might not be. We were trying speculating on what's wrong, and it looks like either mini strokes or concussion related. Unclear.
I mean, if he strokes out once a month for 30 seconds, and then the rest of the time he's normal, then who cares? I mean, it's not good for his health. I'm just saying for being a senator, if you take 30 seconds off once a month, so what? Now, if he's having some other issues that are related, then that's, should see his doctor.
What do you mean takes off?
You take off 30 seconds and you stand there. People are like, this
It's
happens to
not
him,
taking
so he shouldn't be a senator. And I'm like, why not?
He's got problems.
He's still better than Feinstein. Oh, snap.
That might
He's
be
way
true,
better than
but-
Feinstein.
But
Feinstein takes like a month off.
that doesn't mean he should be in
Right.
office.
Well, Feinstein's a more of a story, though, because Feinstein, she's been like this for years, where she just doesn't know what's going on. Like, she often doesn't know what's going on. Also, Feinstein has a serious case of old. He's a lot older than Mitch McConnell, and that's saying something. Who else is
Yeah.
older than Mitch McConnell? Nobody else. All right, so they keep trading everything, and then the engine says it's equal. This is very funny. Now black can defend both pawns. Do you know how? How do I defend both pawns? There's two answers. He'll play one of the two moves. I don't know
Well-
which one.
Oh, you mean black? How can black?
Yeah, how can black defend both of those pawns at the same time?
I guess.
So he didn't do it. He just
Oh,
gave this pawn away.
I was gonna say
He could have
Rick's-
played queen a8 or queen d8. And that's what the engine said. It says you play either one of those moves. But he played here giving up the pawn, and the engine says that's also equal because black has a dominating position. Rook takes pawn, rook c8. And black has a great position. He's just down that pawn.
Feinstein actually used to babysit Paul Morphy. Biden is not much better. I know he's too old. We agree.
Man, when Biden was in Hawaii and he was talking, he slurs his speech like all the time. And I have trouble understanding him. I don't know what he's saying half the time because he's slurring. Okay, so instead of tripling up on the bubble up, he played rook c2, and he's threatening the f2 pawn. So white has two options here. White can ignore that and play rook takes pawn because the black queen is overworked. Or he can not ignore it and play rook here.
I see that.
This seems safer.
No, he's not a drunk. He's just old.
Who's that? Oh, Biden? No, Biden's, has trouble talking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Feinstein has tainted it, but I mean, maybe she's not even with it enough to make those kinds of decisions to retire.
Now, with this Biden, being old and Feinstein being old and McConnell being old, we've forgotten somebody who's also very suspicious, but they're not in the news very much, and that's Chuck Grassley. Chuck Grassley is also really old and also confused all the time, but they never talk about him. But he used to tweet, and he would tweet nonsense. He'd tweet crazy stuff. I think they stopped him from doing that. Oh, Gata did play the interesting move because Gata has to win. Now the game is interesting all of a sudden. If queen takes d5, queen takes. So he can either triple his rooks, threatening queen takes rook, or he can take on f2 right away. If he triples his rooks, he's threatening queen takes rook plus f2. Gata will save his rook and lose on f2. So white's going to be a pawn up, but black's going to have an excellent position. And this game, Bortnick's using his time correctly. He's playing super fast. And Gata's playing not as fast. So big time advantage for Bortnick.
I mean, I don't think they're equally bad playing Gallus, but you're welcome to
Which
have your
two? Which
opinion.
two?
Biden and Trump.
No. You can't compare anybody to Trump.
I mean, but I think
if Biden's bad, which is likely, it's because of Hunter Biden stuff. If Trump is bad, which is certain, it's because of 50 years of stuff. I mean, Trump breaks the law every day. Trump breaks a different law every day. I mean, Biden's been in politics for 60 years, so obviously he's done something fishy. But Trump wasn't in politics and does a lot of fishy stuff.
yes, he stammered as a young man.
Yeah, he does have a speech impediment, Biden. That's true.
I haven't noticed the stuttering. Does he do it anymore?
I don't notice it either, but I noticed when he has trouble talking.
He
Okay,
said
very
yes.
poor move from Bortnick. Instead of taking the pawn or tripling, threatening queen takes rook, he just took the A pawn. Rook A5. The engine doesn't like it, but that seems okay. If you take the rook, I take the knight, the rook, and I'm up a pawn. So the engine wants him to play queen c4 or queen c6. Keep his rook on the 7th rank. Don't want to trade this rook off for this one. This rook's no good. This rook, that's a rook.
Yeah. Hey, Baldy Doc, how's it going? Go Donald.
No, I think Biden was a good senator. I mean, obviously, he has a past, where he was, had some suspicious ideas. But what I mean is, I think Biden was a good senator in working with the other senators. I think he was good at getting things done. Some people don't do anything, like those two crazy women, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert. They just go on TV and say nonsense. But they don't actually do any work when they're supposed to be working and getting legislation passed and stuff. They like, let's impeach Biden. That's the legislation they.
Well, and Marjorie loves to post pictures of herself deadlifting.
Yeah, I mean, they don't do anything that they're supposed to do. They just complain a lot and act
She's
crazy.
pretty fit.
Okay, so queen c4, bishop e5, king gets a square. You can't play rook takes f2 because your knight's hanging. So you can't play knight takes f2 because rook c5. So he just played rook c8. Now he can take on f2. Now it looks like a Grunfeld. Now he can play knight takes f2, and he will. He better. And the engine says it's equal, which is not good for Gada. Gada needs to win.
Karen is secret besties with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
It is a secret. It's even a secret from Karen.
Do you like AOC? I do.
Yeah, anybody whose name is AOC, I like it. That's a good name.
Real PDEC says Biden's support for segregation amounted to A, giving a eulogy for Bob Byrd, and B, opposing forced desegregation, i.e. busing in the 70s.
Yeah, I was bussed in the 70s. Well, I noticed something funny when I was bussed. I was like 5 years old. When I went to a school that was mainly white, and they bused me to a school that was mainly black. And I remember on the bus, there were a couple of black kids. And I was like, they're busing black kids from a white school to a black school. They just randomly pick kids to bus. And then I was like, wait, what? Why are these kids on the bus? Why are they getting bused? But yeah, I was part of the forced busing.
Me too. And I lived in southern Alabama and lived through that.
I liked being on the bus. That was fun. I was a little kid. I was like, hey, bus.
On the bus. Do you know that song?
What's that?
The song by The Replacements.
On the bus? I know another one, Bites the Bus.
Well, Alabama didn't want a bus, so they had to be forced into it.
Yeah, I lived in Detroit.
We were later to obey the law in Alabama, but eventually we did it. We did it.
Okay, so white's a pawn up. Black has this excellent position, obviously. And then in this position, white was a pawn up. Rook c7. Makes sense. If they trade rooks, he wants his queen to be able to come in here later. Like knight takes h3 check, queen g3 check. Let's play like Yasser. Let's say white makes a random move. Then knight h3 check. And then queen here check, and then mate. So black liked his queen on c7 because it could come to g3 later. So Kamsky didn't do that. Kamsky played knight e5. It says queen c3 is the only move, otherwise black resigns. So this move is forced because if the queen leaves the rook and we take the rook and you take back, then your knight's hanging. So you have to play queen c3 to keep on the rook. But it's good enough for equality. And he played it. So even though white is a pawn up, the engine says equal because black's pieces are so good. So probably black, if it was black's move, he would play f6. Then if the knight moves away, my knight takes h3 check. Or that's exactly what happened. If you play rook takes knight, I don't take the rook and then take the knight. I play rook here check. If you move your knight, I play knight h3 check and queen g3 as I just showed. So he could play like queen b5, for example. And then if you take this, then I can take this. Because you don't have rook here check winning my queen, because my queen's not there.
Oh, I see.
So he has to move his queen off the first rank. The engine also says d5, pawn takes queen b4 is equal, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, it says it's equal, so okay. Yeah, queen b5 makes more sense. Get your queen off the back row. So he can play knight takes h3 check and then take the knight. The engine says that's equal. Or he could play knight e4 here. And the knight has to move. Or he could trade queens. All three results are possible. Well, Gata got a position that he can win. I mean, he's not winning, but he could win. That's all crazy position. And Gata's catching up on the clock also. So if Gata loses or draws this game, then Bortnick will play a match with Sevian soon. And if Gata wins, then Gata and Bortnick will play an Armageddon game.
You passed 3 schools on the bus to school and high school.
Good, good.
1 hour commute.
Can't have more fun than that.
Mm-hmm.
Very long think here from Bortnick. Okay, he does play knight h3. Engine agrees. Okay. Doesn't smell good, nh3, but it's a good move. Threatening queen f8 mate with advantage. Black can play queen d6 or king h6, and he's equal, it says. After queen here, what happens on this? That doesn't make sense to me. You just play queen c5? Oh, I don't know. Oh, queen b4, it says. After king h6, queen check, king here, that looks risky, but you might do it. This also looks risky, queen here, pawn takes. So both sides can get mated here. Finally, Gata caught up on time. Yep, that's a good move. King h5, move it on up to the king side. Nice safe king. Actually, queen g7 is also equal. That's hard to believe. The king's not trapped here. This seems dangerous because your king is, yeah, king h5 makes more sense. If black plays e4, he's threatening queen h2 mate and queen g3 check winning. Okay, that's what he played. Now queen c5, threatening queen e3 and queen g5. He'll probably play queen c5. Then queen f4 is forced. Defend this, defend this, defend this. Should still be a draw. Even material, both kings are exposed. It says this move draws. Check, king takes, and then if d7 here, and if rook d1, I can play rook here. But rook d2 makes more sense. Get the rook behind the pawn. Well, this is looking tough for Gata now, because Gata has to win, and he can't win. Like, this pawn's falling, and queen check trades queens into a drawn endgame. My queen can come block if you check on f4 or h4. This king here also draws, but queen h5 makes more sense to me. Yeah, Gata can't win this position. The rook's behind the pawn. And these pawns aren't dangerous.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's going to be Bortnick and Sevian. Boo! Karen's mad. Karen's leaving the commentary.
I don't feel that strongly.
Mamedyarov won his matches in this event against Sevian and Bortnick already. So they might play 3 matches. Mamedyarov and his opponent. All right, they just traded everything and it's just dead draw. Time for king h4, g5, g4, and black plays for the win. I mean, not really, but sounds good. Now it's time for king f5. Yay, his king got out. All right, Gata gave up. He's just playing for a draw now. And draw by reputation. So Bortnick wins the match against Gata, and Bortnick's going to play Sevian in a few minutes, I guess. I guess they'll give him a few minutes break. And so forth.
Yeah.
Bortnick lost the first match against Mamedyarov, then won all of his matches. Then he might play Mamedyarov in the final. Who would have thunk it? What does the chat think? The chat wants to start a train, you say? Are you Hikaru's father-in-law? Well, no, actually what happened was Hikaru changed his name to Luke, and then I said, I am your father. Right, Luke? I hope Luke gets sued. Man, truth hurts. Yeah, that was an interesting game. It got really complicated at some point. But yeah, it seemed like Bortnick was always, doing okay.
Yeah. Let me see if Archer's texted me.
Yeah, I want to know how he did. Probably still playing.
No text.
Let's see if they're saying anything on the thing.
Hikaru is on vacation. Still can't stop himself from making 3 videos on Hans. What a sad life. I mean, I don't think it's that bad for him to do it on his honeymoon, because if it's a really long honeymoon, and he enjoys it. Look at these Zoomers checking their phones while streaming.
I was doing work. I was talking to the people who run it, asking when the next game is going to start.
I was checking mine. His wife is enjoying his income. Yeah. I'm sure she is. He's enjoying her beauty. She's beautiful. A good chess player. I don't know much about her. She seems nice enough.
Yay, Big D subscribed. Go Big D. Probably from Detroit. Does this just like I'm seeing on his emails? All the best. The best for chess. They're the stewards of the game.
Yeah, C.L. Smith was real mad about that tweet.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
No, but he doesn't like chess.com.
He was like,
sure.
oh, yeah, he's real steward,
Yeah.
putting it all behind a paywall or something like that.
Pittsburgh, that's where my dad's from.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with making money. You can care about chess and still make money from it.
Let's see. No Sevian game with Bortnick yet. We'll see if they answered me.
I need to get my hair cut.
Sevian being FP checked. What's FP?
I'd have to see what you're talking about.
Sevian's being FP checked. What?
Is that some kind of...
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't either.
He's being
Security?
FP. You guys know. What does that mean? FP. Fine print checked? Security checked.
Security checked.
What's FP? They scan the room and stuff.
It sounds like security, but what does that stand for?
Yeah, they said it'll start in a few minutes. Bortnick wanted a break.
Hey, DK79. Chess.com, the inventors of chess. Fake pinata. Federal politics. Oh, fair play.
Oh, fair play checked. Thank you. Zing subscribed. We need one more thing to happen for a hype train. Somebody do a thing.
That's good. Yeah, they have to fair play them all after the games. So, typical stuff.
Yeah, usually in these events, the guys have 2 cameras on them, one from the back, one from the front.
Yeah.
And they check her out. Yay, squirrel brained. Also, SK Whirl brained. 100 bits.
Yeah.
No, chess.com's bad.
He was on a ChessCom stream. He really said that, Point Gallus?
Yay, go hype train. Thanks to Twisted King 21. Level 2. It's never happened before.
I don't think they do drug testing in high-level chess.
They do sometimes, yeah.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
What are they testing for?
Exactly. I don't know. It's all ridiculous.
I mean, you want your opponent to smoke some weed, because then they'll do worse. Oh, Ritalin? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, some people are prescribed it.
I guess I'll go to the bathroom since nobody's playing, and you could entertain them.
Yeah, I'll just keep reading the chat. Adderall is probably prevalent. Do you enjoy drunk chess? Ben doesn't, Ben and I aren't big drinkers. I'm sure he's played drunk before, but you don't see how Adderall makes you feel much better. Modafinil. I don't know anything about any of those drugs. You get Adderall and Ambien mixed up. Hey, Kingpin. Yeah, I don't know. What is Adderall the ADHD and Ritalin? Aren't those both ADHD drugs, or am I wrong? Yeah, I don't know much about those. Speed. Which one is speed? Is Adderall like speed? You think Ritalin is ADHD? Yeah, they are both ADHD drugs. I thought they were. Adderall is an amphetamine. Yeah. We need Walter White. Yeah, I don't know. I've definitely played after a little bit of weed. I don't think it helped at all. I don't think that was a smart choice. Hey, Kingpin, how's it going? It doesn't help you at all? Playing drunk is bad, you just don't care and go for anything? Never ever play chess hungover. Don't do it. I haven't had a hangover in years, so that's not something that I'll do. That's why I don't like to drink. I don't like to. I mean, when I go out, I will have a beer, and maybe two, over several hours. But I don't like to feel bad the next day. Mind-altered states are bad when playing chess. Who would have thought? Aw, thank you, Kingpin.
Go Hype Train. We need 4 subs in the next 20 seconds. It's September, so if you sub, it's cheaper. Don't forget it's September. And also, my birthday is September 6th. So don't forget to give 20, 50, 1,000 subs.
The last time you got drunk was 1991. I've been drunk since then, but it wasn't on purpose.
And they started. All right. They started about 3 minutes ago.
No, they didn't slip me a Mickey. I don't even remember the circumstances.
What's this called?
I
just did a lecture on it for our channel on Zoom on Monday.
Well, I wasn't in the lecture.
I did it about 4 weeks ago. And it was sponsored by, I can tell you who sponsored it, by Pat. It's Pat. He sponsored the lecture.
I don't remember.
Alekine defense. Very unusual at this level.
I I think I was drinking some shots for somebody's birthday up at the karaoke bar. And
I remember the best time you were drunk.
Where's Peter?
Yeah.
Where's Charlotte Test
at
Center?
the Greek festival.
Yeah, I got really drunk at this Greek festival.
They were getting her drunk too. Peter's mother was like, "Here, have more drinks."
Oh, that was terrible. I got sick. Yeah, Peter posted some video of us all dancing. That was awful.
All right, so white has the typical advantage that he has in this opening. This is the most common line, c4 takes. You can take either way on this is a more common way of taking CD, but when I play Alekhine, like for fun, like when I play blitz chess, I play ED. Yeah, there's a book on this move as opposed to this line because this is more popular. And the book is called The Blue Pill. Right? Yeah, it tells you what to do against ED.
What?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing something.
As long as people in the chat get it.
Oh, erectile dysfunction?
Yeah, then it's called the blue pill because of ED.
I'm like, what's going on?
All right, so black's playing very passively and solid. White has a big space advantage on the queen side. Yeah, and the engine likes white because black can't do very much. Black's only hope is to attack this pawn on d4. Engine doesn't like knight g6. Seems like a normal move.
All right, now I got to switch teams. I'm for Bortnick. He's sun running. We got to let him, you know.
Yeah, this is why GMs typically don't play the Alekhine defense. You can get a passive position. They usually want to get some counterplay. Like the engine just doesn't like black's position because it's so passive. See this knight here? It went on a journey. Here, here, and then... Oh, wait a minute. That's this knight. This knight was this knight. It went here, 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 here. Wait, did it play knight c8? No, he didn't play knight c8. Okay, wait. He played here, 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 here. Man, it took me a long time. And this knight just went here and here. Bishop d7. Ugh. Yeah, this position is not palatable for black. It's pretty bad. The engine wants to play f4 and attack. Rawr. Yeah, black is just so passive. He wants to play knife f5. Yeah, very passive position for black.
Who was
Alekhine, the most overrated chess guy ever. God damn.
Who was the weakest champion?
Steinitz? It's either Steinitz or Irva. It's one of them. Irva usually gets the nod. But I don't know, maybe Irva was better than Steinitz. I don't know. Steinitz was like 50 years before. So... The answer is Timon. Go Timon. Morphy wasn't the world champion, and he definitely wasn't the weakest if he was. The weakest world champions were the ones that were the FIDE world champions when Kasparov had his own world championship. Most people don't include those guys as world champions. But if you do, then those guys. You know, like Ponomaryov, Halifman. Are you kidding me? Are you? I'm serious. Are you kidding me? Black's trying to put something on f4, but trying is the first step to failure. If you play knight f4, I think I can take it and play queen g3 and I win. Let's put that on the board. Now I'm threatening knight takes knight, queen takes knight, and knight takes bishop. Oh, the engine says bishop takes d4 is good for black. It says I should take this and I'm winning because I have queen takes pawn check. Now that makes sense. Yeah, you don't want to move this knight because it's coming in here. Coming in hot. Okay, I think he played bishop h4. Yeah. Doesn't want knight takes bishop to happen. Yeah, it's like black has less space everywhere, but especially the queen side. Rook G, E1 question mark. Now wants to play knight G to F8. Man, that's pretty passive. F5? What? I guess if you take it, we have a knight discovery, like knight takes D4. He wants to play the move F4. So white should play knight E2, protecting F4 some more. The problem is black can never play knight takes F4 if white sacks a piece because we're coming in here. So for example, if we play F4, like for example, which he won't do, then we play queen takes, and then this is mate. So white's better. And if you don't like that, this is mate. It's all mate. So black doesn't really have the option to play F4 after knight E2. But he didn't play knight E2. He played G3. Also good.
I couldn't quite see that mate.
You have to get all these pieces out of the way. Mm-hmm. We can look at it again.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The second mate you were playing. I thought he could go to... Oh, I see now.
The rook is hooking us up here.
Yeah.
The rook is on fire. Get rid of the Kamsky-Bortnick game.
Thank you for the sub, Jay Bent. Was Bagulyabov ever a champion?
No. He played for the World Championship with Alekhine because at that time you didn't have to play the best player. You just played somebody who could raise the money. Bagulyabov was probably like 10 or 15 in the world, but he got money raised by whomever and got to play a match with Alekhine for the World Championship. Very suspicious.
Karen,
F4 exclam.
Karen, did you see Vichy's Subway ad? No.
So white's plan is to play G4 at some point. He's got to prepare that. Black's plan is to not lose. Black just sits here and tries not to lose. Black doesn't really have a plan. Black is just super passive. He's just like, well, if white doesn't play G4, I should be okay. White can also double or triple on the E file and try to bust through there. But I think he'll move his king, play rook G1, and eventually try to play G4. And he could also play king H1 and then play knight E2, knight G1, knight F3, and knight E5. That's what Karen was trying to say, right? Yeah.
He really did make a Subway ad?
Yeah, you want to go here. So you have to do it this way. You could also play knight B1 to D2 to F3 to E5. But yeah, this knight's no good. Knight's good here.
The board's so crowded.
Mm-hmm. Bishop C1. That indicates to me he wants to double or triple on the E file, and he's getting his bishop out of the way so he can do something here. Another way to get your knight here is to move your queen and play knight here, and then either here or here, and then D3,
E5. They're calling in the modern day Jared. Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah, and you could play bishop B3 and try to sack a piece on D5 and bust through. Also possible. Now, black is just hoping white doesn't have a winning like sacrifice. Because black really can't do anything. Black is just chilling. Black's defending this, defending this, defending this. And yeah, he's defending them, so that's good. Black would like to play knight e4 also, but there's no maneuver that does that. You'd have to play like knight c7 to e8 here. That takes too long and the bishop would be under attack. And I could take the knight. Wow, g4. He lost patience.
I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. Sevian lost patience and played g4. No.
I was wondering about that, but
He does have a lot less time. So. Yeah, that was a good game. Bonarici.
what game?
Kasparov-Karpov game from 85 where he sacks the exchange of Sicilian. It's a pawn sacrifice, which has since been refuted.
Mm.
Yeah, we got Kingpin as a one-trick pony over there.
Yeah, I don't like that joke. I don't like the Kobe jokes. I like making fun of people when they die.
What if they die in a hilarious way? There was a helicopter crash in New York in some, like, it was a police helicopter. Or it was a news helicopter. Bad Move Ben gifted a sub. Thank you.
We have a move.
Bishop h4. The engine doesn't like it. But it says it's okay. The dog doesn't like it either.
I do feel safer with the dogs here.
Yeah, white's going to play rook e2, and then play rook g2, and then say Papa John's. Very hard for black to do anything. This bishop is so bad. And I have the e-file. I have all the space all over the board. But Bortnick does have a lot more time. Bortnick does play faster than Sevian. Bortnick's a very good blitz player, better than slow chess. Sort of like a Naroditsky type. Naroditsky just went live. It seems fairly obvious to play rook e2 because other squares are no good, and you want to play rook g2 and get on this, file here when it opens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whoa, GF. That's crazy, like some news station. So the engine says bishop takes loses. It says we have to play knight takes f4 or knight takes c5. Wow. No wonder he played GF. Now Bortnick will think for hours. It's too complicated. I have an engine and I can't figure it out. The engine says knight takes f4 is all zeros. That's funny. Knight takes f4. Okay, so this is the engine line. Knight f4, bishop f4, knight f4, knight f4. And now bishop takes f5 is win. No, bishop takes f5 is equal. Then knight f takes d5, attacking the queen. C takes d5, rook takes f5, rook takes f5, knight takes d5. Wow. Then if you play rook takes knight, I can come in here. And white's winning down a rook. Anyway, none of that's going to happen, but that's the engine. The two engines we're playing, then that might happen. Okay, instead he played rook f5, which the engine says is terrible, and now it says white's winning. So, yeah, this position is too complicated. But if you have engines, it's less complicated. But they don't have engines. They have to make their own moves. Yeah, and now knight takes c5. And now white has one move that wins. And of course, he played it instantly because he's Sevian. Sevian's really good at tactics. See how the queen's attacked?
Yeah.
So he played knight takes d5. That's the only winning move.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously Bortnick didn't see that. That's the only move that wins, too. See, the point of knight takes c5 is we stop the queen from retreating. So the queen's trapped. Nowhere to go. But Sevian saw that when Sevian's really good at these tactics. Crazy. Knight takes d5, exclam. What happens if I move my queen, which the engine doesn't do? I don't know what happens. I'm going to do it. Let's say I go here. I don't see what white does here because I'm not good enough. Well, I'm going to find out. Why does that lose? Knight here wins. Oh, because I'm going to play queen takes knight. I knew that, but I thought he played knight here check. Bishop takes defends the knight. Oh, okay. Then we can just take. Then we can just take on c5 and we're up material. Actually, no, material's equal here. No, we are up material. We're actually up a rook here. So if he takes this, now we're just up a piece. Knight takes d5 just wins, so Sevian's going to win. This just wins the game. And Bortnick didn't see that. Sevian saw it when he played gf. Yeah, now white's up material. White's up an exchange here, and now he's taking everything. Now white's up a piece. Yeah, white's just up a piece, so there's nothing to analyze. He's also up 2 pawns, but that's all right. Yeah, he has to resign now. Yeah, he resigned. Yeah, he just didn't see knight takes d5. So in this position, it's equal if both sides are using engines. But he played this blunder thinking after queen takes, knight takes, the queen was trapped. And he missed knight takes d5, attacking the queen. And now I'm threatening knight f6 check and I play queen takes knight. And black just gave a rook away. So black's down a rook. So knight takes d5. Black doesn't get anything back. So that's the end of that. So the game just was a one-move game. Rook takes f5 double question mark, and he's dead lost. And then just wrap it up button. All right, so that game didn't take long. They had like a better position for white. White crashed through, but it didn't work. And black could have played like an engine and equalized, and instead he played like a human and lost immediately. And you don't understand, nobody understands how good Sevian is at these tactics. The game Sevian beat Kamsky in game 2 of their match, or I don't know if maybe it was Armageddon, I don't know. But, I mean, the way he crashed through and it was Armageddon. The way he crashed through and checkmated him, I mean, and like played instantly, that's Sevian. Sevian's really good at calculating and checkmating and attacking and seeing stuff in these positions that's hard to see, like knight takes d5. The only winning move. Knight f6 check is equal, and the idea of knight f6 check is the queen has h5. So he probably thought Sevian was going to play knight f6 check and then queen h5. And the engine says that's equal. But he just didn't see knight takes d5. And then the game's over. Because the queen's not trapped anymore. I have knight f6 check and take. I have knight takes queen. And as the game happened, black is down material here and has a lot of material hanging. And white just took everything. And truth hurts. All right, so that was the end of that game. And then they play game 2 very shortly. Let me see if they put it up yet. They did not. Bortnick needs some time to recuperate.
I forgot about that. Sevian should just break Bortnick's king in half and claim victory.
Yeah, Sevian's only 22, and he's been famous for like 8 years. I played Sevian when Sevian was like 11 in front of the St. Louis Chess Club. We played like a blitz game, and I beat him because he was 11. Then when he was 12, he was already better than me. So I got him good. Yeah, and we've played several times in tournaments, and I won once. I beat him when he was 12 or 13. Then he beat me another game, and we drew a game. So I think I have 1.5 out of 3. Huh. Or did he beat me twice and I forgot? That's also possible. I think he just beat me the one time. Man, did he beat me too. God damn. It was a Sicilian and he sacked a piece and it was like the engine said equal. And then he just checkmated me and queened with mate. It was embarrassing. If you want to see me get totally destroyed, there's a game like 8 or 9 years ago I lost to Sevian where I was black and a Sicilian. If you want to see a game where I old manned him, there's a game like 11 years ago, 10 years ago, where I beat him in 1,000 moves and he was just getting squeezed on all sides of the board. And he couldn't, and I moved my king back and forth, both sides of the board, and he was sitting there getting squeezed. And then in the end, I queened, and I had king and queen against king. We both had about 3 pawns that were blocking each other, and he didn't resign. And then he played a couple of moves, then he resigned. I was like, "Is that resigning? I have a queen." What? He had nothing. He had a king. I was like, well, "This is a slow game. What's going on? What's happening?" So he must have been furious. He offered me a draw. I offered him a draw that game, or he offered me a draw. I forgot. I think I offered him a draw and he declined. Then I beat him. Then he offered me a draw and I declined. That's what happened. We both offered draws. Then we drew a game in a Philidor. I feel like he beat me again, but I can't remember when. And I've never played Bortnick. Why Kamsky and Bortnick played openings that Sevian will get positions to attack with, instead of something boring like the Berlin. Well, sometimes they don't play the Berlin. Sometimes you don't play it. The truth hurts. Yeah, I think I have 1.5 out of 3 against Sevian. But this was all like 9, 10 years ago. Obviously, if I played him now, then it would be embarrassing. For him. Oh, snap. Just kidding, Sam. Okay, game 2 has begun. Bortnick has white. Bortnick has to win. If Sevian wins or draws, we're done for the day. That's the end of chess today. And then Sevian will play Mamedyarov again. Also, if Bortnick wins this match, he'll play Mamedyarov again. So, Bortnick playing the Jobava London. See? Remember, kids, if you're a beginner, play bishop here and knight here. Don't forget to do that. See, he's threatening something. He's waiting for a mouse slip. Put it in H. Man, this is like a kids tournament. Bishop here, knight here, H4. Just like 2 kids are playing. It says white's playing 100. It loves the way white's playing. Knight here, H4. And the knight on A6 isn't very good. Plays A3, then if queen takes pawn, knight A4 traps the queen because the queen doesn't have the B4 retreat square. The typical move against queen B6 ideas. So white's still in his preparation. He's playing instantly. Put it in H. The engine says black is fine. You beat Sevian in 1913. God damn, no wonder I beat him. Spice Cup drew in 2014, then lost in 2014. Yeah, those are the 3 games I know. The game that he beat me, that's the tournament he became a GM. He had all the GM norms, and he was like 13 or 14 years old, but he didn't have 2,500 FIDE, and he won that tournament with like plus 1,000 against like all GMs. So his rating, he gained like 40 points, and he became a GM that tournament. When I played Sevian, he was in first, and I was in clear second. I was having a good tournament, except for my Sevian game. Why not bishop d7 after a3, stopping knight a4? Well, he did play bishop d7. If you play knight a4 here, I play queen a5 check. Then your knight's not so good there. But then he did play bishop d7, so he must have heard you. I have to regain my 2013 form and have Sevian regain his 2013 form. Then we're all set. Yeah, the game I beat Sevian, he couldn't move. He couldn't move anything. And then my king was on the king's side, and I went to the queen's side. Then I went back to the king's side with my king because he couldn't move. And then eventually I infiltrated and I won. And then I queened a pawn, and he kept playing when he was down he had a king left. And he's like moving his king around. I'm like, what are you doing? What? He didn't have a passed pawn. He had nothing. He's just playing with his king. I'm like, this is a slow game.
But he was real young, right?
He was like my strength. He's like 2,400. He can't do that. If he was like 5, I'd give him a break, or 4.
He had a king and what?
Here, I'll show you.
I mean, I'm pretty sure.
No, you'll be like, wait, what? You won't believe it.
I'll believe it.
No.
I saw the king breaking of Han's king.
Hey, here's videos I made of the game. I'm clicking this and it's not working.
Yeah, what happened to Jeffrey Zhang? He posted himself.
He's playing in some tournament.
Oh, is he? I know he had some mental health issues that he himself posted about, but I wasn't sure.
How come when I click this, nothing happens? It's spinning. Like, we have great internet. Come on.
Well, there's 2 parties involved. They might be having an issue on their end.
Oh, chessgames.com might be having an issue. Okay,
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
Agreed, extra cheese.
No, I want to show you my game with Sevian. Nothing else matters. We'll have to watch this video on my game with Sevian.
The extra cheese says, LOL, Ben interrupts the broadcast to show everyone how he beat one of the players.
Okay, so
Peak Finegold.
So here, this is a video. Oh, here's the game. Good. Okay. I'll just go to the end. Okay, so you see, look here. This is the end of the game.
I think on Reddit. Yeah.
This is the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
See how I have my rook is here and my king, and he can't move.
It might have been on his stream itself, though, Troy Chess.
All right, so you watching?
Yeah.
Okay, so you see I'm queening my pawn here.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a king. He can't. Okay. And then I queen my pawn, and then he plays here. And I'm like, what? King f6. Also, why are you letting me queen?
Did he just make one move?
But he played g4, letting me queen. And then I queen, he went here. And I'm like, what?
Then what happened? He
I play here and he resigned. But like, what? How can you play here? It's a slow game. What's happening? I'm a GM and he's like 24 FIDE. Like king, it wasn't time trouble. We both had like an hour left.
Yeah.
When he played king f6, I was shocked. I was like, he's playing till mate? What's happening? Also, letting me queen, letting me queen was weird too. Instead of resigning, it doesn't work anymore. Anyway, I've never been so mad. Okay, back to whatever we were doing.
You think he was hoping for stalemate, Bonarici?
No, there's no excuse for what he did. That's worse than what Bacro did.
Yeah, you guys didn't even get to see it.
Oh, okay. Remember, boys and girls, if you want to be good at chess, play knight b5 on move 3 or 4, then go back, then play h4, h5. And when you develop your knight, make sure you go back to b8. Blah.
They both moved their knights.
Yeah.
A couple of times.
No, like this position looks like both sides are playing like bad on purpose. Okay, h6, put it in h.
Bacro got mad and when he lost his first game, Troy Chess, so then he just purposefully lost his second game.
Yeah, white's better here.
Made some weird moves and then resigned. Yeah, rage quit.
Yeah, I can show you that game, I think. I think I can show games. Yeah.
Anything but the actual game.
Yeah, well, they never move.
I'm just kidding.
Let's see. Losers. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. See, I'm not as dumb as everybody said. Okay, so Bacro was better or winning the first game, then he got outplayed and lost. Now, this is the second game. This is against Andraken. This is yesterday. All right, if you didn't like A5, maybe you thought that was inaccurate. He played A4. Okay, now the game was reasonable. Now he played bishop e6, which doesn't make any sense. Like, rook e1 check is coming. So you got to play knight f6, bishop e7 castles. Or you could play bishop d6, knight e7 castles, but don't do that. But he played here. Then after here, white has a winning advantage. Because if the bishop moves, I play rook e1 check. If you don't move, I take it. Position makes no sense. And he resigned here. And he used 3 seconds. Like this game, he's got 3 seconds off his clock. What? So he played instantly every move and then resigned on move 7 or 8. Come on, back row. And all his pieces run the back row. All right, let's see. This game is over. All right, now I'm going to show you my game with back row. No, wait, I won't because I lost that game. That's the match where I beat Gazzoli. I had a big advantage against MVL with black, and I blundered a pawn in the middle game. Then I outplayed him and I was better. And then I blundered and lost. And then I lost to Bakro, and then I beat Gazzoli, so we won the match. That's the one where our board. This is where we played in the mall with the scary mall where people are murdered. Yeah. Okay. So White's trying to win black's queen. So watch what white did. White played bishop c7, which is a mistake, and the idea is the queen can't go back. So if it was white's move, then white would play b4 and the queen's trapped. So black played a5, stopping b4. Then rook c1, and now the engine says this is terrible. It says black's doing great now. It doesn't like this move. Yeah, now black's doing great. Yeah, these pieces getting attacked over here. Terrible. So this is very bad play by Bortnick. He played here, which was fine. Then he's playing over here. Yeah, now black has a big advantage, it says. It says white has to play, he play c4. And then after dc, he has to play bishop d6. Bishop d6 or resign. Those are his options. Let's see which one he picks. Yeah, Sevian's like, what's this guy doing? Why is he playing h here and pawn, bishop here, knight here? I'm just developing my pieces and castling. Whoa. Why did he hang a piece? They agreed to a draw. Well, he hung his knight. What? The knight's hanging. You just take it, and you're up a knight. And he played rook c4, and they agreed to a draw.
What do you think?
Well, first of all, maybe he didn't see queen takes knight, which I don't believe. But like bishop d6, it says is equal. Like white's slightly worse. I mean, white's position is terrible. I take and play b5. So he just gave up here. He just decided like it was over. The queen takes knight wins a knight. I mean, if the game's a draw, the match is over. It's so.
Oh.
Now this is a Hikaruism. Okay, I'm not kidding. When somebody is playing a match game where if they lose or draw, they lose the match, Nakamura gets angry if the guy offers a draw when he's dead lost, which the match is over. So Nakamura would say, like, why is the guy offering a draw instead of resigning? And why is Sevian not playing queen takes knight and forcing him to resign? Now the match is over and the game's not rated, so if the guy offers you a draw, you take it and the match is over. But Hikaru's like, you shouldn't offer a draw when you're dead lost. You should just resign. It's like, he says like it's unfair to chess to do that. Now people think the match was 1.5-1/2. They think he drew, and like they just agreed to a draw because he didn't resign. But yeah, this is a very strange move when he could have played bishop d6. And I'm guessing he saw bishop d6 and he decided this was completely lost. And the engine says like black is slightly better. But black's a pawn up for nothing. Now it says black's clearly better. He might have saw this and said, whatever, let's end the match. Because this is terrible for white. Yeah, this is terrible for white. But I don't know why he played here and offered a draw. That's weird. He wants to go play Bullet Brawl, which starts in 5 minutes. See, normally I would think you're kidding, but you might not be kidding. All right, so it's Sevian Mamedyarov tomorrow. The first game was very competitive. Sevian was better, then it was equal, then Sevian was better. Then Sevian just torched him. And then in this game, White was doing fine, and then White played like 5 bad moves in a row, and then blundered a piece. So that was a weird game. But anyway, the match is over. Sevian wins. And what's funny is Mamedyarov can be happy that he beat the 2 guys in the finals of the losers. That's why they're in the losers, because Mamedyarov beat them both. So tomorrow, if Sevian wants to win the event, he has to beat Mamedyarov in 2 matches. Okay, so they play 2 games. If Sevian wins, they play another match. Actually, I apologize. It's 4 games tomorrow. It's a 4-game match. And then if Mamedyarov loses the 4-game match, then they play another match, which I think is 2 games, I think. So same time tomorrow. I'll be streaming tonight. Sub Saturday, I'll be playing subs. September. My birthday's in a few days. So bring your checkbook. For Karen Boyd, I'm Grandmaster Ben Finegold. I'll see you guys in 5.5 hours, and we'll raid somebody. We could raid Hikaru, Naroditsky, Chessbra.
I didn't even see Hikaru streaming. Mine's not sorted. Looks like Hikaru's just got on. I wouldn't raid him.
What? No, I'm going to raid Narrative.